This is Shelley Neese with the Jerusalem Connection. In the midst of depressing reports this week about Russia's lust for power, Syria's rising death toll, and smiling Western diplomats cowering to Iran's nuclear ambitions, I spotted one highlight in the news cycle that gave me a strong sense of encouragement. Ryan Jones, longtime reporter for Israel Today, published 2 pieces this week about a movement called the Israeli Christian Recruitment Forum. The forum is made up of Arabic-speaking Israeli Christians. That is how they identify themselves. These are basically Christian Arabs who have citizenship in the State of Israel. Since Israel became a nation in 1948, the Christian population in the Jewish state seemed destined to be a quiet minority, unsure of where their identities fit into the larger spectrum. They spoke Arabic and were lumped into the category of Arabs or Palestinian, but they were mostly silenced by the larger groups of Muslim Arabs who wanted to pretend that the Arabs of Israel had a united front against the Jewish state. Israeli Christians have finally found their unique and collaborative voice, and that voice is growing louder and louder in support of the Jewish state. One of the main messages Israeli Christians are putting out there is that they no longer want their situation to be abused and misrepresented for anti-Israel propaganda. The forum came out this week against an anti-Israel Facebook page. The Facebook page had posted 6 pictures of dilapidated Christian churches in Israel and tried to say that the state of those 6 churches proved that Israel was trying to force out its Christian population. The forum loudly protested this false notion. The forum has also tried to denounce wrongful representations of their history. It is often said that Israel in 1948 tried to push out all of the Israeli Christians from the new Jewish state. But the Israeli Christian group takes ownership of this notion. They state publicly that Prime Minister Ben-Gurion actually tried to get the Arabic-speaking Christians to stay. But many of them decided to follow the Muslim leadership instead and ended up fleeing the country. The forum says they are done following the Muslim majority. Another protest that the forum conducted this week was against the European Union. 50 Israeli Christians, or 150, gathered outside the EU's offices in Tel Aviv. They were wrapped in Israeli flags. They called for the EU to stop blacklisting all Israeli products that originate from Judea and Samaria. They said instead of the EU picking on Israel, that they should stand up for the rights of Christians who are actually being persecuted all over the Middle East. The leader of the forum is Greek Orthodox priest Gabriel Nadaf. His congregation is in Nazareth, and he has experienced extreme persecution by both his Muslim neighbors and leaders of other Christian churches around the world who would like to see him silenced. With encouragement from leaders like Nadaf, the number of Israeli Christians signing up to serve in the Israeli Defense Forces has dramatically risen in the last 2 years. These Israeli Christians say they see themselves as an important part of the nation, and they want to contribute to its protection. Who can argue with that? I, for one, was thrilled to hear a little piece of good news this week. Shavua Tov.